Welcome to Mid-Century Living, your weekly nostalgia podcast about the best of technology and culture from the mid-20th century.
Welcome back to Mid-Century Living, the show where we talk all about the best of the mid-20th century and how to add the vintage vibes to your modern life. We are your hosts, Gonzalo.
And Jackie, thank you for joining us today. So today we're talking about mid-century diners. If you'd like to skip ahead to the topic we're covering, we have a timestamp in our show notes, or you can check out our new chapter links in our episode. But first, Gonzalo, how's your summer going?
My summer's going great, except for the fact that old age has caught up with me in a big time. Because today's Saturday, Tuesday? Yes, Tuesday. I was at the gym and I was doing weights that I've done before. It was not anything, it was heavy, but it wasn't like beyond what I know I can do. Like, I know I can do this without help. And it was more frustrating about this injury is that I wasn't even working out yet. I literally just had the weights in my hand and I was setting up to get started. So I was going to sit down on the bench, but I'm short and the bench was at an angle, which requires me to like lean forward a little bit before I sit because I got short legs and I hurt my back.
No.
And immediately I was like, well, that's more than a regular like twinge. So I was already sitting. So I was like, okay, let me try. And I got one rep in and I go, this is not going to work. And then I kind of I tried something else at the gym, which didn't require stabilizing. So like I was fine. And then I went home. And since like Wednesday, I could not move. Tuesday, when I got home, after my body cooled down, like I could not move. It was a moment in which like I got stuck, like bent over. I was like, I can't move. And then I started yelling, and no one was at the house. I let out a big old scream. And let me tell you, I love my car, but getting into the Jeep without being able to like move your legs or bend was the hardest thing in the world.
I can't even imagine. I cannot believe we're hurt our backs old.
We are hurt our backs old.
No.
And we are hurt our backs without like I kind of wish I had done something stupid like ego lift and hurt my back that way, because then I'd be like, oh well, it's because you're an idiot. But no, I was literally just sitting down. I just happened to have weights in my hand.
No.
Like that could have happened sitting down at the dining room table with like a plate of food in my hand. Anyway, so I'm sitting with a handy dandy heating pad behind my back.
Oh gosh.
So that's my summer so far. How's yours?
Mine's fine. Oh gosh, I'm already. Yeah, so my birthday is next week, and now you're making me even more stressed about the fact that after this birthday, I'll be closer to 40 than 30.
Don't even think about saying that, because I am even closer, because I turn a year older than you in 4 months, 5 months, whatever. I don't want to do the math.
Now I feel even worse about it. Thank you for that story.
You're welcome. Happy birthday.
But other than that, my summer's not bad so far. It's, I don't know, like also busy, but also not busy. Mainly it's full of rum.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, well, Dallas Tiki Week just happened a couple weeks ago, and we didn't attend as many events as I wanted to because, they have a lot of really cool, so basically it's like, during this week, a lot of other bars and restaurants around town, like, have little tiki pop-ups where, like, there's, like, rum tastings or home bartender competitions. There was, like, an event that was all just garnishing. Like, it was just build your own crazy tiki garnishes. Like, there was a velvet painting class and, like, all this stuff. It's, like, really cool, but a lot of the events are at, like, 3 p.m. on weekdays.
Uh-huh.
So people with jobs have to take off work to go, which I actually want to do next year, I've decided. It's just that this year we don't have a ton of vacation time because we have an actual vacation planned. We have to take off, like, an entire week, so we have to, like, budget our vacation days. But next year we don't have any big vacations planned, so I think I'm just going to take, like, half days that whole week next year so I can go to these afternoon events because they sound super fun. But nice. We still went to both of the sip-and shops. There's one on the first weekend and one on the last weekend, and those are super fun. We bought some really cool tiki things. and saw all of our friends there, and I got to wear fun tiki outfits and like go do tiki stuff. It was just like a fun little like tropical vacation at home. So
Nice.
that was good times. And then we're going back to the tiki bar next weekend for my birthday. And I'm working on some spiced rum, which I need to make so that I can make rum balls.
Very nice.
So I'm basically working on kind of the base recipe for the spiced rum I got from another podcast, the Zen Tiki Lounge. The host of that podcast has his own recipe for like how to spice your own rum.
Mhm,
And I
mhm.
tried it exactly as written last Christmas to make rum balls with, and then this time I'm kind of tweaking it because I felt like it had too much cinnamon. So I'm gonna do one fewer cinnamon stick this time and see if that's better.
Okay.
So that's like my rum-filled June.
Oh, I'm excited
So
to try
far.
these rum balls.
Yes. Which now I think I have to stop telling people about it because now everyone wants to try them, and now I think I have to make a triple batch. So that I have like a double batch to bring to the wedding and then like one whole other batch just to like give to people who I've accidentally told about the rum balls.
Yes. Well, my wedding takes priority. She's
Yeah,
making
no, I know.
she's
You're gonna
making
get the
rum balls
prettier ones. You're
for
gonna get the
my
classiest
wedding.
ones. What's good about the other like ulterior motive of making like one making extras means I don't have to tap into the wedding allotment. Also, it means if I make another batch just for giving out to people, I can put weird sprinkles on those ones.
Oh, that's right.
Because you have to get classy sprinkles because it's a wedding and it has to match like bridal stuff. But I'm gonna put like Halloween sprinkles or something on the other ones, like something wacky.
Nice. By the
So
time this episode comes out, I would have been married.
yes, I know, and I'm sure everyone's so confused because this is gonna be our first episode back after our summer vacation, but we're actually recording this during our summer vacation, and Gonzalo is not yet married. So we don't have any fun wedding catch up yet, but we should by the next episode.
Yes. Next
So
episode we'll talk weekly catch up as if
and it'll just be wedding catch up. If it goes too long, we might make it its own spin-off.
bonus
But
episode.
anyway. But now that we kind of got around to food,
Yeah, that's right.
as we always do.
Yeah, food talk. Oh, this is a food talk episode.
Food talk episode!
Yeah. I'm actually pretty excited.
Yeah, me too. So today's food talk episode is actually all about 4 mid-century diners that are still around. So
Yeah.
we're going to cover 4 very popular diner chains today. Gonzalo, why don't you start with our first diner?
Awesome. Yeah, so the first place we want to talk about today is IHOP. I'm sure if you live in the US, you're familiar with this diner. Not only are they the iconic blue and white buildings, but you see their sign smiling at you from the side of the highway when you drive around, because literally their sign makes a smiling face with the O and the P in IHOP as the eyes and a little smiley face below it. You've been to IHOP, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good. I asked for the sake of the podcast, but I know you have because I remember going in high school.
So, for those of you who do not know, IHOP is a US-owned multinational pancake house restaurant chain, meaning breakfast all day, every day. Though its specialized menu is breakfast foods, it actually offers lunch and dinner menus also. Many locations operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but the chain's minimum operating hours are 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. It is owned by Dine Brands, which is actually a fairly recent company that was formed when IHOP purchased Applebee's, another US restaurant chain.
Which I saw someone call it a plebis. And I was like,
Plebis?
yeah, that's now that's the only way I want to say it.
That's how I'm going to read it in my head from now on.
A plebis.
Plebis. At the end of 2022, there were 1,841 locations spread around the entire world, from the Americas, USA, Mexico, even Ecuador and Guatemala, to the Middle East in the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar, to name a few. It has even spread to South and Southeast Asia. Sorry, Europe. Not only are there no IHOPs in Europe, there aren't even plans for them to expand to Europe.
Yep,
That explains why I've been reading in a lot of my Disney groups that whenever people from Europe come over to go to Disney World, they like make a point to stop at an IHOP to get the like diner experience, and that like makes even more sense.
Yeah, they don't exist in Europe.
Yeah. Oh, poor Europe.
I think it's hilarious. I feel it's very apt for an American diner to not exist in Europe.
But it's called the International House of Pancakes.
And they are international. They're just not that kind of international.
Yeah, just not, but none for Europe. It is currently headquartered in Glendale, California, USA. And some additional stats about this chain is that it has over 32,000 employees And its annual revenue is approximately 812 million for the full fiscal 2024 year.
Yeah, but we must talk history. I promise I won't go back to ancient Mesopotamia like we did at the end of the last season when we talked about weddings. But we are going back to the mid-century because IHOP, with its full government name being the International House of Pancakes, which actually was its name for the first 15 years of service, was founded by Jewish brothers Al Lapin Jr. and Jerry Lapin. Lapin or Lapin? Because French wants to make me call it Lapin, which means rabbit.
Now that you've said both, I think we're good.
Okay, awesome. In the mid 1950s, with the first restaurant opening on July 16th, 1958, at 4301 West Riverside Drive in Burbank, California, which.
Oh, their birthday's coming up.
You're right, it is. Sadly, though, it's also on National Hot Dog Day. Sad. That's not what's sad. What's sad is that it's currently a Mendocino Farms restaurant, not an IHOP, which is really good. But it's across the street from Bob's Big Boy Burgers. Actually, I believe it's the original location for Bob's Big Boys, which opened before our time in the 1930s. So it's not today's episode. Second and third locations for IHOP, located in Panorama City and Baldwin Hills, California, are still operating today. The brothers actually operated a business before called Coffee Time. This was a series of coffee carts which served offices with urns of coffee. So maybe they're the ones that were serving Mad Men.
Yeah, maybe.
They were inspired by McDonald's success, and the shift to a restaurant came when the brothers decided to test if people could be lured into restaurants featuring pancakes and waffles. Once they realized it worked, they vowed that all their tables would receive their own never-empty pot of coffee that patrons could use to self-serve rather than wait for a waiter or waitress to serve them. And that's why you get a little craft coffee.
Which is great, and all restaurants should do that. I'm always, like, at diners, I always keep the waitresses busy because they need to be constantly refilling my coffee. And I'm like, can you just leave the carafe? And they're like, no.
Early recipes for pancakes and waffles were actually tested in their mother's kitchen. That's right, matriarch Viola Lapin served as her first test kitchen. Soon after its creation, it grew rapidly. By 1959, it became part of International Industries, a public company that held more than 20 different businesses and pushed the franchise concept. Today, 99% of IHOPs are operated by franchisees. In the early 1970s, the International House of Pancakes changed its name to IHOP, and also International Industries folded, and IHOP was left to run itself. Eventually, a majority of its stock was purchased by Wienerwald Holding, which is like the best name ever for a company, a Swiss restaurant chain that owned the 225-strong Lumps chain, which actually is a hot dog restaurant company based in Miami, which sadly also folded in 1992 when Wienerwald folded. IHOP made several strides to become the breakfast giant it is today. In the mid-1980s, it began to change its lunch and dinner menu to accommodate the newly nutritionally aware customers and began to offer new vegetarian, chicken, and seafood plates. Although I personally think you're crazy if you go to IHOP and ask for the fish. But that's just me. In 1992, IHOP acquired 23 JB's restaurants in the Pacific Northwest, and by the mid to late 1990s, it had expanded internationally to Canada and Japan. It also moved from the NASDAQ to the New York Stock Exchange, which is something financial that I do not understand. And in 2007, IHOP purchased Applebee's, a casual dining neighborhood bar and grill. Some fun facts, though. You probably have seen these around. The original prototype for the building design was a steep-roofed A-frame building with a distinctive blue roof. Now, the last location of that design was built in 1979, but several still operate from these buildings today around the USA. In 2018, a new marketing campaign announced a name change from IHOP to IHOB. The B, introduced for burgers, but was ultimately a campaign to address perceptions that IHOP was not focusing on breakfast foods anymore. It was kind of like a tease. It's like, hey, we're going to do this so you guys remember that we do more than just pancakes, but in reality, they weren't planning on changing their name.
Yeah, I thought that was actually a really cute campaign. There's also a national holiday for pancakes, because of course there's a national holiday for all foods.
Exactly.
For the last 15 plus years, IHOP has celebrated its own holiday, National Pancake Day, or NPD. The date is contested, like some people celebrate it in the fall, 1 week after Talk Like a Pirate Day, and it actually began as Lumberjack Day. IHOP celebrates it in the spring. This year it was on March 4th, but there's no information on NPD 2026 yet. Though we are almost at NPD's 20th anniversary, next year will be 19 years of this holiday.
Mm-hmm.
At participating IHOP restaurants in the USA, you could order a free buttermilk short stack from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I went to that once in college. It's a madhouse on
I
free pancake
bet.
day. It is, like, be prepared to wait an hour to sit down
Ooh.
and get your free short stack. So I only did that once. But
Yeah. I've gotten okay. Maybe this is the back injury talking, but I've gotten to an age where like I'll just pay for the buttermilk pancakes.
yeah.
Anyway, let's talk a little bit about food. So it is the International House of Pancakes, so we'll be talking popular breakfast items. But yes, they do have lunch and dinner. Talking pancakes. Now, these are ranked by the Daily Meal. Honestly, I've never gotten any other than the original, so I'm gonna base their decisions as canon. Here are the top 10 pancakes at IHOP, ranked from least bad to best. I say least bad because at the end of the day, it's pancakes, right? Pancakes are pancakes. So here is the list from the Daily Mail. Strawberry banana, then slightly better cupcakes, sprinkles and all. New York cheesecake pancakes, double blueberry, the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity blueberry, which is blueberries baked into the batter, the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity strawberry, which is the same as the last one but with strawberries instead, chocolate chip, buttermilk chocolate chip, Oreo cheesecake, and the best, of course, is the original. Of course, it's the best. It's got the exact amount of fluffiness, flavor, and absorbency. Lots of structure for syrup. There's also Nashville hot chicken and waffles, which I realize it's only a breakfast food if you consider brunch like breakfasty foods, which I do.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason why I included it is because chicken and waffles is my go-to brunch order when we go to a new place, and usually how I rank whether or not a brunch place is good or not.
I love that.
Yeah. Shout out to the Dan Lion Cafe in Houston. They have the best chicken and waffles around. Like, seriously, the chicken and waffles at the Dan Lion Cafe, amazing. And when you order an iced coffee, their ice cubes are made of coffee.
I love that. They got that from Martha Stewart. That was her idea.
Yeah.
Her invention was make the ice cubes out of the drink. She
Oh,
does
really?
it with iced tea, iced coffee, lemonade, all the
Yeah,
things.
it's genius because then it doesn't water down.
Mm-hmm.
More food, though, in IHOP. The breakfast sampler, it's the classic. This is what all diners need to serve. It's a classic American plate. If you want to compare all diners today, I suggest that you get their version of the breakfast sampler. This one has eggs. You get them as you want them prepared. There's hash browns, bacon, sausage or ham, and served with a side of pancakes. And it's a perfect hangover cure. And lastly, of course, we have to mention this one. I kind of already teased it. But apart from having the best name in the world, this is the classic IHOP item. The one someone at your table always orders, and one of their most popular items, the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. Now, this one is back currently as a quote limited time item, which like why? I feel like it's kind of like the McRib. Like I feel like the big wigs at IHOP are like, we want to drive up sales, we're gonna make this limited, but they don't really make it limited. You can always order a Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity.
Okay, good. I was gonna say because that's half the reason to go to IHOP is to have an excuse to say that in public and have no one giggle.
I think it's literally just them trying to like fake
scarcity or whatever.
Yeah, thank you. So anyway, this is a combo of 2 eggs, 2 bacon slices, or 2 sausage links, and 2 fruit top pancakes. It was first launched in 1980s, but has since retained its reputation because of its quality and value, and let's face it, because of its name. Are you hungry yet?
Yes, I haven't been to IHOP in forever, but I actually how I distinguish between IHOP and Denny's is like, do I want pancakes or do I want anything else?
Oh, smart.
Because
yeah.
if I want pancakes, IHOPs are the best.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fun fact, they include a little bit of pancake batter in their omelets, and that's why they're so fluffy and delicious.
Interesting.
But I feel like the food is better at Denny's. So if I want anything that isn't pancakes, I'll go to Denny's. But if I want pancakes, I'll go to IHOP.
I pass both in Denny's and an IHOP on my way to the highway from my house. Actually, the Denny's that I passed, this is so totally not necessarily for the podcast, but remember going to Denny's in high school because they had a smoking room?
Yes.
That's the Denny's I
Man.
passed.
Yeah, I remember that. That's good times. Since we're comparing IHOP and Denny's, it's only natural that we'll talk about Denny's next.
Yep.
Another great American diner, Denny's is known for its 24-hour service. Many locations operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and classic American comfort food. It has actually come to be known as America's Diner, but did you know that Denny's was not always named Denny's?
I did not.
The very same diner we knew today actually opened as a small chain of coffee and donut shops called Danny's Donuts, Danny with an A.
Ah.
The original location opened in 1953 in Lakewood, California. Fun fact, the name Danny had no real significance for the founders of the franchise. They only picked it because it was a popular name. Neither founder had any relatives or acquaintances in mind when they chose it.
Interesting.
So after opening 7 locations, founder Harold Butler decided to change concepts. Danny's Donuts was rebranded as Danny's Coffee Shops. They started serving burgers alongside their donuts and changed its operation to 24 hours. There was only one problem. Los Angeles already had a chain called Coffee Dan's. According to Denny's official website, the name was changed again because Butler was worried that customers would start to conflate the two businesses. But an interview with an early investor of Denny's revealed in an interview in 2012 that Coffee Dan's actually sent a cease and desist letter to Butler and other execs. So, some mild drama. So Butler's solution was to rename the restaurants once again in 1959, this time to Denny's Coffee Shops. Again, no connection to the name Denny. He just chose it because it sounded close enough to Danny. And by 1961, Butler dropped coffee shops as well, settling simply on Denny's, and the rest is history. There were over 100 Denny's locations by 1966, and by the end of the 60s, there were more than 500.
Whoa.
Another
That's
fun
a
fact.
lot for 4 years.
Yeah, that is a lot. Like some crazy expansion, so good for them. Another fun fact, Denny's actually helped Googie architecture spread across America. In the 1950s, Los Angeles architects Arment and Davis created a prototype building with a boomerang-shaped roof that became a model for Denny's stores built nationwide. They also designed a second prototype in 1965 with a zigzag shingled roof.
For more on Googie architecture, don't forget to check out our episode titled Googie Architecture, which is episode number 36. Link in the bio. No, not the bio. Link in the notes.
Anyway, back to Denny's. Denny's opened its first international location in 1967 in Acapulco. And by the end of 2023, there were 1,602 Denny's restaurants. And 1,445 of them are located in the U.S. And they have 157 international locations. But they also have an additional 578 Denny's locations in Japan, but these are operated independently under a license.
Oh.
Fun fact! States with the most Denny's restaurants are California, Texas, and Florida.
Nice.
California has the most with 363 locations.
What about its food, though?
So, as I said before, I think that their non-pancake related food is the best personally, but their most popular meals are definitely the Grand Slam breakfast. This is definitely one of Denny's longest lasting contributions to the world of dining. It was introduced in Atlanta, Georgia in 1977, and it was named as a tribute to local MLB superstar Hank Aaron. Grand Slam is a combo with all of Denny's best items for one price. You get 2 each of Denny's buttermilk pancakes, eggs any style, bacon strips, and sausage links. In 1977, the Grand Slam cost $1.99. And according to the inflation calculator, that would be $10.56 in today's money. But right now, if you go to Denny's website, a classic Grand Slam costs $13.19.
Oof.
Another famous menu item and my favorite to order is the Moon's Over My Hammy, which is almost as much fun to say as Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity.
Yep. I feel like it's a requirement of diners to have funny names.
The name was inspired by the 1935 jazz song Moon Over Miami. It has been a Denny's bestseller since it was introduced in the early 1990s. This is a ham and scrambled egg sandwich with Swiss and American cheeses on grilled artisan bread. Gonzalo, any final thoughts on Denny's?
The only thing I have is that, okay, being not from the US, even though I've been here for like 5 years, I think now, so like most of my life. But I remember on trips to the US before we moved here, and also I feel like once we were here as well, Denny's was like a restaurant we would go to eat at. Not for breakfast, but like, we're visiting someplace, we are going to go have dinner, we're going to go to Denny's. Because it was very American, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it.
It is very American.
But yeah, it's called American Diner. But it's time to talk about another diner, another coffee house, another one which is actually very special to us here at Midcentury Living because back in the day, which by the way, did you know that's always a Wednesday?
No.
Yeah, when you say back in the day, always a Wednesday.
Huh.
When we were in high school, we'd go like into town, like into Houston. We would go to Houston. That was the whole point of this, and we would always go to House of Pies. Now, we lived in the suburbs, and the House of Pies we would go to was 100% not in Houston. It was still outside of Houston.
Yeah, it was like right on the outskirts.
Yeah,
Like right
but it
before
was
you're
still
actually-
like a 20 to 25 minute drive for us. So it was still like we're going to town. But anyway, in college, it was a must stop after a night out. It was always full. If you ever lost track of time and found yourself at a House of Pies of Kirby in Houston at 2 a.m., you were going to wait for a while for a table. Any thoughts?
No, that it's always busy, and I have so many fond memories of this restaurant.
Yeah.
So for those of you who aren't local, what is House of Pies? The name says it all. It's the House of Pies.
Yeah, it's a House of Pies. Literally, the House of Pies.
It's a true coffee house, and we mean that as the old name for a diner.
Yeah, so that's okay. I have a side tangent because the name for diners is coffee house, and House of Pies still calls itself a coffee house or a coffee shop, and it's actually derived from the French café as an establishment that specializes in different styles of coffees and serves food as well as other light snacks, pastries, sandwiches, that kind of stuff. In Britain, they're known as British cafes or cafes, or greasy spoons, which is my new favorite name for a restaurant.
I think I've actually heard people say that in the States, greasy spoons, to talk about like really greasy diners.
Yeah.
So while their menu is extensive and you can order many types of breakfast, lunch, and dinner foods, the real ones know that the correct way to order at House of Pies is breakfast food and a slice of pie to go. They specialize in different flavors of pies. Actually, when you combine their dessert menu, fruit pies, cream pies, and cakes, there's over 40 different ones.
Mm-hmm.
In Houston, at least, the main historic locations are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yes. So, did you know that House of Pies and IHOP are not that different?
No, I didn't.
Well, they are not that different. It's IHOP and OHOP. House of Pies and IHOP actually share similar beginnings. Actually, they share one very specific beginning: international industries, which was responsible for expanding IHOP in the 1960s. So if you guys remember Al Lepin Jr., who started IHOP, he was the guy in charge of international industries. So he's actually the one responsible for launching House of Pies in California in 1965.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's
Wow.
same start,
Small
same
world.
dad. Okay, so I say 1965, but their website says celebrating memories and comfort one bite at a time since 1967. Wikipedia claims 1969 as a start. I'm gonna go with the 1965 that I found on a bio about Al Lepin Jr. Although the restaurant chain has its beginnings in California, it quickly expanded to Texas, Houston to be exact. The first location in Houston was on 3112 Kirby Drive, soon to be followed by a location at 6142 Westheimer Road. Both locations still operating. They still look iconically like the mid-century, although they've been remodeled and are kept very clean. So while it may look dated, it's not look old at all. Mm-hmm. And fun fact, my friend, who maybe listens to the show, hopefully, her family owns the buildings that those two are located in. Does not own the actual restaurants, just the buildings.
Neat.
At its peak, House of Pies, or OHOP, the original House of Pies, as it was sometimes known, operated around 60 restaurants. Today, we have less. Moving into the 1970s, the chain kept expanding in California as well, with 32 locations operating within the greater LA area by 1971. The LA locations were known for their bright white buildings with pink trim and a circular sign featuring a pie symbol, like the mathematical symbol, next to the quote, a unique coffee shop. Outside of California, the locations were square cottage-style houses with tall pitched roofs and a center chimney, with a similar orange circular sign featuring a pie symbol inside of a house shape, and the quote, a unique coffee shop in text as well, which is still displayed in the Houston, Kirby, and Westheimer locations. The original menu was limited to 3 to 5 dishes, which rotated daily. And by 1973, when Lepin stepped down as CEO of International Industries, if you remember from IHOP earlier, that company will soon fold as well. The company sold off House of Pies, as well as other diners such as Copper Penny family coffee shops. Franchisees were left to either close or operate independently, and this is how we ended up with continuously growing Houston locations but failing California locations. By the 1980s, the only location still operating in LA was the Los Feliz location. By the end of the 1970s, the remaining IHOPs were sold to the franchisee owner in Houston, Robert Herndon, and we ended up with 3 locations, LA and the 2 Houston locations. Now, between California and Texas, they had different menus, but they still had the same heritage. If any leftover locations survived, they were independent and not part of the IHOP system. For example, there's some in Seattle that operated still under the name House of Pies, but they weren't part of the system.
Fascinating.
Today, House of Pies is owned by the Calaf family, having purchased all locations from Dave Herndon, and operates 6 locations in the greater Houston areas. But you can order a pie from them anywhere in the US, and they will ship. Fun facts. House of Pies is often referenced in The Big Bang Theory. Obviously, this would be the LA location. Though the location is now known as both House of Pies and California Pie Shop, it's still the Los Feliz location. It's also been referenced in other TV shows such as Will and Grace. And the founders of Compaq, which for you non-millennials, that is a computer company from the 1990s, they are reported to have made the initial plans for their company on a placemat at one of the Houston locations.
Okay, so we've got to talk about food. I feel like I always ordered something different food-wise and pie-wise every time I went, so I didn't really have like a default order because it sounds like we went there a lot, and I guess we did, but there's just 40 kinds of pie, so you can't just like order the same pie every time. That would be crazy.
I don't think I ordered the same pie, but I definitely ordered the same breakfast food. But I do remember, I will say one small anecdote. If you ever go there, whatever breakfast item you get, when they ask for what kind of potatoes you get the tots and then get a side of ranch. And this I was taught by our waitress. Her name was Dawn. We always had the same waitress at the Kirby location when I was in college. Anyway, hot sauce in the ranch, and then dip your tots.
That is a
Thank you,
good
Dawn,
hack.
if you're listening.
So, all of this is according to the official website. The top sellers for pies are Bayou Goo, which sounds weird. It's not bad. It's a thin layer of sweet cream cheese layered with chopped pecans and a vanilla chocolate custard, and then topped with whipped cream, powdered sugar, and chocolate shavings. Their other top sellers are pecan pie and New York strawberry cheesecake. I think that I agree with them that cheesecake is a pie.
Cheesecake is not a pie.
It has a crust.
Okay, get out of here with your logic. It's called cheesecake, not cheese pie.
Yeah, it's called cheesecake, but it's named wrong because it has a crust. It is a pie, and it's a custard pie with cheese. I'm right, and so is House of Pies. But apart from pies, there are 15 different types of Texas breakfasts, which are all kind of Texasy meats with eggs. Yes, you can order yourself some chicken fried steak and eggs. 13 different types of classic breakfasts. My suggestion would be the sausage scrambler, which is 2 sausage patties, buttermilk biscuits, scrambled eggs, white gravy, and hash browns. There are 12 griddle breakfasts, which are all manners of breakfast items related to pancakes and waffles. The most popular being the country breakfast, 2 eggs, 2 buttermilk pancakes, and choice of bacon or sausage. And 12 egg-related omelets, all very gourmet sounding. There's Texan, Acapulco, Philly cheesesteak, to name a few. And the ever-popular hangover omelet, which is 3 eggs, bell peppers, onions, mushrooms, cheddar cheese, and hot salsa that I might have ordered more than once.
But I had to talk about House of Pies for a minute because when I was in college, this was a summer day. My friend Michael and I were hanging out at my parents' living room. I remember that. And he goes, I am so hungry. I could go to House of Pies and order one of everything. So we did. We grabbed a few friends, which included our friend Ben, who at the time was very into making videos and movies. And this is prior to Instagram and TikTok. This is back when like there was no way. Like I don't even think Vine existed yet. But anyway, we went to House of Pies and made a video of us ordering everything. At least our rule was we're going to order one of every pie. Obviously, we cannot order all the food. Yes, we had to get permission from the manager. Yes, it came out to like $80 a person. Yes, the waiters and kitchen staff placed bets on whether or not we could eat it all. No, we did not eat them all. We failed. We took half of them home. Here's some lessons learned, though, from that. You cannot eat everything on the menu, even if it's a group of college guys. If you decide to try this, do not start with the heavy cream pies. That was my error. I started with the heavy ones, so like 3 slices of pie, and I was like, I'm done. Also, you gotta understand, if you've never been to House of Pies, their slices of pie are like an acre.
Yeah,
Like they're
generous
gigantic.
slices.
But this is my ranking of the top 5 pies at House of Pies, and what I would consider to be the worst one. So number 5, the fresh strawberry cream pie when it's in season. Number 4 is the Texas pecan pie, not the fudge one. Pecan pie is a classic. Do not mess it up with fudge. Number 3 is a German chocolate pie, which is delicious but coconut. Number 2, the piping apple pie. Honestly,
Isn't it? It's the pippin apple pie,
pippin,
right?
piping, tomato, tomato. Honestly, it's really a type between this one and Dutch apple pie. One has a cover and one doesn't. Both are delicious. And the number 1, according to me, is chocolate cream pie. And the worst, which I realized I did not include in the outline, the worst pie that I think at the place is the egg custard pie. I don't know why, because I like custard. But this pie, I did not enjoy. And I've tried it a couple of times. I did not enjoy.
Hot takes.
Yes. What's your favorite type of pie?
So my two favorite pies at House of Pies are the chocolate cream pie and whichever of the apple pies has the crumble on top. I can never remember, and I always have to ask which one, the pippin apple or the Dutch apple, which one has a top crust and which one has a streusel. The one with the streusel is my favorite.
I think that is a Dutch.
I never remember, and I always have to ask. So one last Southern diner that we could not do an episode on diners without talking about is, of course, the Waffle House. Gonzalo, have you ever been to a Waffle House?
Yes. I've never actually eaten at the Waffle House, but I remember we flew into Jacksonville, Florida one year to decorate the cruise ships there. And we flew in pretty late in the night. And our hotel, none of us that was in that group knew Florida or Jacksonville. So like we got to the hotel and we're like, we are starving. We need to go get dinner. And we asked the clerk at the front desk, and she's like, or he's like, I don't know who it was. Like, well, here's some options, but I think pretty much everything's closed. Although there's a Waffle House on the street, you can just walk to that one. So we did, and we got there, and we're like, we ordered, and like, we're gonna go back to the lobby of the hotel and eat there.
I've been to Waffle House a couple times. In high school, I was actually on the robotics team for some reason. And we always did like a once a year pilgrimage to do like a midnight Waffle House dinner together as a group.
Nice.
So that was pretty fun. And then I've been like a couple times in college because it is, again, always open and pretty cheap. So here's a little bit of the history of Waffle House. So on Labor Day weekend in 1955, the first Waffle House opened in Avondale Estates, Georgia. From the beginning, the founder's concept for Waffle House was to make comforting, simple food and serve it in a way that made patrons feel welcome. The original menu had only 16 items on it, and the restaurant was named after their most popular order, waffles.
I'm glad that that was the most popular order, because if it was called the Waffle House and like they were known for like their steak and eggs.
The company was devoted to offering the friendliest service in town, and it bred so much customer loyalty that demand for new locations started to grow. The second Waffle House opened in 1957, and by 1960, Waffle House opened its fourth location and began franchising. Waffle House popularity actually grew without the help of advertising at all. Waffle House has never made any TV or radio commercials or print ads, which is fascinating. People just learn about the restaurant chain by word of mouth from other people who love it. Waffle House also reels in customers by placing its restaurants close to busy highways. Waffle House actually expanded in tandem with the U.S. interstate highway system in the mid-20th century.
Oh, that's cool. I did not think we were going to talk about that, but we also have an episode about that.
We sure do. Waffle House sets itself apart by offering old-school diner service that has remained basically unchanged since its founding in 1955. Waffle House restaurants are all open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Fun fact, Georgia has the most Waffle Houses in the world. Of the 1,972 Waffle House locations, as of February 2023, 436 of them, about 22%, are in Georgia, and the rest are scattered through 24 other states. All in the South. No. The article I stole that fun fact from did the math for me. I did not check their math. So hopefully that's right. Even though it's called Waffle House, these days the restaurant is particularly famous for its hash browns. Hash Brown House doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, it really doesn't.
Specifically, the many ways you can order hash browns. So these specialty hash brown orders were born in the Atlanta area Waffle Houses in the 1980s, where line cooks would whip up their own magical hash brown creations as treats for themselves. Here are all the ways you can order Waffle House hash browns. Smothered, which is sautéed with onions. Covered, which is with melted American cheese. Chunked, with chunks of grilled hickory smoked ham. Diced, with grilled tomatoes. Peppered, with spicy jalapeno peppers. Capped, with grilled button mushrooms. Topped, with chili, or country, which is sausage gravy is poured on top.
Which I don't
You could
understand
also-
that, but okay.
You could also mix and match any of these, or you can order your hash browns all the way and get all 8 toppings at once.
No. No. Sidebar, their math was correct.
Oh.
We have to bring this in though, okay? Because this is one of the things that makes Waffle House stand out, and I find it hilarious. Something that's become part of U.S. culture, especially in the South, the Waffle House Index. Waffle House's commitment to staying open all the time even applies during natural disasters. Waffle House uses portable generators to keep restaurants running through power outages. Staying open as much as possible helps give Waffle House customers a place of refuge in difficult times. It also allows the company's employees to continue earning money instead of losing wages due to restaurant closures. According to USA Today, Waffle House's emergency preparedness has spawned an unofficial way of measuring the severity of natural disasters, the Waffle House Index. The Waffle House Index is a 3-color system. Green means all Waffle Houses are operating fully and that you probably don't have to worry. Yellow means that Waffle House may have to run a limited menu or run off of generator power. Red means you should get out of town because all the Waffle Houses are closing. People actually use this as a way to predict if natural disasters such as hurricane will be bad or not. Like, seriously, that's what we look at in the South.
Yep. This is the most southern thing.
I love it.
It's like, I don't know, should we evacuate for this hurricane? How's Waffle House doing? Anyway.
And because they're everywhere, you could probably see one from your house. Like, there's one. Okay, so earlier I said how, like, if I get to drive to the highway, I have to pass a Denny's and an IHOP. I also pass a Waffle House.
Yep.
And if I make a right on the highway, not even one exit later, it's a House of Pies.
So you could hit all 4 of them in a row.
I could hit
if
all
you
4 of these without driving more than a mile and a half away.
That is a good location to buy a house in. Well chosen.
That's why.
But if you ever find yourself driving through Avondale Estates, Georgia, you can visit the very first Waffle House. The building was briefly transformed into a Chinese restaurant in the 70s, but later Waffle House corporate bought back and remodeled it to look like the original Waffle House before turning it into a museum.
Well, that's cool.
The museum showcases relics and photos from over 60 years of Waffle House history. The Waffle House Museum offers free tours, but during a very limited window. Tours are only on Wednesdays and only at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Oh.
But if you can get into one of these tours, you also get free waffles and free Waffle House souvenirs like hats and buttons.
Nice.
The Georgia Historical Society includes the original Waffle House location in their Georgia Historical Marker Program. So, Gonzalo, any final thoughts on Waffle House or any of the diners we covered today?
Yes, here's my final thought. Everyone go out there, order similar meals, and then report back and tell us which one you like better.
Yeah.
I would say I would do that too, especially because I can literally walk to all of them. But I would need to walk to them to, like, eat them all at once. But now I really want eggs. Like, I want the biscuits from House of Pies with the sausage, because what you do is you order sausage patties and you open the biscuit and make sandwiches. But I also want the pancakes from IHOP, and I want a slice of pie, and I have a suit to fit in a couple of weeks.
So yeah, wait till after the wedding to do that.
But now that we've cut up to the present, talking about an event that's happening in the future for me, but in the past for you guys listening, it is time for our etiquette segment. Jackie, what do we have today?
So I wanted a food-related etiquette tip today. So today's etiquette tip comes from Betty Crocker's Hostess Cookbook from 1967. This is actually the intro to the chapter on hosting bright little brunches and lunches, which I thought was kind of related to breakfast.
Nice.
So this is just like some of the greatest hits from the intro. So a brunch or lunch has charms quite different from those of a dinner party. Brunch, may be served anytime between 10 or 10:30 and 1 o'clock. The most popular brunches are co-ed affairs served late on a Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
You should offer each guest a cup of coffee the minute he arrives. Serve English style from a sideboard and let everyone help himself from chafing dishes or platters on a hot tray. She also suggests providing some lazy after-eating entertainment, which is things like buying 3 or 4 Sunday papers and setting them out for browsing, having a giant jigsaw puzzle ready for assembling, and basically just encouraging your guests to just do as they please after breakfast.
Nice. I like
so
that.
some
I
may
appreciate
want to
that.
listen to records, some may want to work on the crossword puzzle, just basically like a really chill affair.
I support it.
But because the intro also includes lunch, and a lot of the diners we covered also serves real food, so if you are hosting a lunch party, a weekday lunch is a nice way to fed a bride or mother-to-be, a gracious gesture on behalf of the neighbor's house guest, or a pleasant prelude to an afternoon of bridge. Keep the menu light, but make the most of it with little flourishes. Roast the radishes, curl the butter, bring out the finger bowls, and float a real flower petal or drop a Japanese water flower in each one. So just because it's an afternoon affair does not mean it doesn't have to be fancy.
True.
So in this section, Betty actually includes 3 breakfast menus and 3 lunch menus, complete with preparation schedules to make sure everything is ready when your guests arrive. My favorite breakfast menu is called a casserole brunch, and it includes Sparkling Red Rouser, which is a tomato, non-alcoholic cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
The Continental Cheese Bake, Half Moon Salads, Bacon Curls, and Quick Blueberry Coffee Cake with lemon sauce and coffee. I like this one for 2 reasons. 1, most of it can be made ahead, and 2, the entree is mostly cheese.
I like it. My only thing with brunch or lunch parties is how do you ensure that people get out after the event is over? Because if you host people for dinner, there's a very natural cutoff time. It may not be a hard time, but you're like, oh, I'm getting tired. Oh, or I gotta be at work tomorrow morning. I'm gonna go home and sleep. If you have people over for lunch, it's not like, oh, I gotta go home and sleep because it's 2 p.m.
That is a very good point. Especially if you're following this etiquette and having, lazy after-eating entertainment around. People might just move into your living room and just sit there doing the crossword for the next 4 hours.
Yeah. I don't know how that works.
But other than that, how do we feel about... Or do you think that's a good reason to not approve these etiquette tips because there's no way to get the people out of your house?
I like the idea of there being etiquette for this type of event. I think I would like to hold off on giving the stamp because I don't want someone moving into my living room after the event is. I want to be like, okay, get out. It's like when you stop dropping hints like, oh, I gotta go to the dentist. It's Sunday at 2 p.m. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when we covered Amy Vanderbilt's problem guests etiquette. I think all of her excuses for getting people out the door were all late night excuses.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get someone out of your house at 2 p.m.
Yeah, I don't know.
That is tricky. So maybe at your own risk, host some breakfast and lunches at your house.
There you go. I like that. This is a not approval, but not disapproval. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
So with that, it looks like we have finally flipped the pancake. Thank you all for listening today. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the show and tell a friend.
You can also follow us on YouTube and Instagram at MCL Podcast. Instagram is the best place to send us feedback and episode suggestions. Send us a DM anytime. And you can also contact us through the Send Us a Text Message feature in the show notes.
Yeah, so send us some fan mail. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye!
Thank you for listening to Mid-Century Living. Please subscribe, tell your friends, and leave a review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow us on Instagram at MCL Podcast. See you next Friday.